Welcome to Solutions Studio. This is a free series on C programming language. If you like these videos, please subscribe to follow along with this series. Also, please like and leave a comment and share the video to help spread this series. Hello and welcome to this episode, and in this episode we are going to discuss the static local arrays. As you know that we discussed static local variables in previous episode, and we said that static local variables exist for the program's duration. Now that means that we can apply the static specifier to a local array definition to prevent the array from being created and initialized every time the function is called and destroyed every time the function exits. So this way, the static local array will exist for the program's duration, and this will reduce the program execution time, especially for programs with frequently called functions that will contain large arrays. Arrays that are static are initialized once at the program startup, and they will continue to exist for the program's duration. Now let's go and see this program to demonstrate static local arrays. We have this function which is called static array initialization. Here in this function we have array1, which has 3 elements, and it's defined as static. First, we want to print the values of this array without any modification. So using this for loop, we are going to print the values of this array, and you will be able to see that the elements will be initialized to 0 before the function is called. And then we want to print the values once we have brought some changes to this array and we have added 5 to each one of these elements. Now here in the main function, we will have our first call to this function. And the first call, the array is going to be initialized and the array is going to be added by 5 each one of the elements. And then we are going to have the second call to this function. And again, we will be able to see that whether the elements have initialized to 0 once again or not, or the values have been preserved. Let's go and execute this program. Now you can see that in the first call to function, when the function was initially created, all of the elements, the values were 0. Then we brought some changes when we made the values to 5, and then the function was exited, but the values did not change. Now in the second call to this function, we can see that even initially, the values are not initialized to 0, but rather they have their previous values from this call to the function. And they have the values of 5, and the values of 5 are being preserved by using this static specifier that we used for the array. And as you can see that we have brought some changes to these 5 values, and these 5 values have become 10 values at the end of the second call to this function. And that's how a storage class specifier static can preserve the values of an array during program execution, even though the function has exited, but the values are preserved. And that's it for this episode. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to see you in the coming episodes. Stay tuned.